Hi Zubby, how you doing? Hello. Okay, your sound is muted. If you're speaking, your microphone is on mute.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, what's up? How you doing?
How many?
It's good to have you. You're welcome to the session. How do you feel?
Actually, very tough. Very, very good. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
I can barely hear you. Could you try to speak up? Could you speak up a little louder so I can hear
I,
you?
I think I think I'm glad you.
Yeah, that's good to know. So
Uh,
if it's okay for you, do you mind turning on your video if it's just for a few seconds? If that's fine, just so I can put a face to the name.
okay, no problem.
Oh, nice. Good to see
Yeah,
you. Nice one. Nice
I'm
one.
sorry.
All right. All right. So you're joining with your phone, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but that's okay. That's not a problem at all. I'm pretty sure you'd still be able to see my screen very clearly. First of all, I want to commend you for the analysis. It was spot on. The moment I saw it, I could easily relate because, first of all, your chart looked really clean. I could see all of the zones, all of the lines that you were trying to point out, all of the very key points, and I saw, the beautiful trend line that you drew. I already did the analysis before I put out the challenge. Anyways, I already had like my own idea of what I thought the chart would look like, and yours was pretty much the closest to what I had going on, and I was so impressed when I saw it, and I was like, I need to know this guy. I need to understand, your level of experience when it comes to
yeah.
trading because it's quite impressive. So nice one. Thank you so much for joining the challenge.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So how long have you been trading for?
I started really, okay, I did my million for
Oh, that's amazing. So do you have like someone mentoring you, or how did you start your trading journey? Tell me about it.
I started really by watching videos online, not only from YouTube channels, then the lesson, study, probably so that I'm not doing by myself.
That's nice. That's really great. So what's your strategy like? What do you trade with? So I understand that you're learning yourself, but are there any specific strategies you like to stick to? Based on what you did in your challenge, I see that you do price action, but I want to know if that's all or if there are some other things that you incorporate in your charts.
Only your kind of I think benefit the only like start pattern or like I use just pure like just that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Nice one, nice one. I really commend you. It's great. I'm also a price action trader, so that's why I could relate very well to your charts. It looks very similar to what I had going on, and yeah, decided to talk about it more with you. So I'm going to share my screen right now, so you can see what I have going on. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
charts together, and then if there's still time, we can probably have like some more extensive conversation. But first, let's have this chart conversation. So other folks who also took part in the challenge can also sort of see, you know, what we had going on. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Nice one. So I sent this challenge with the H4 time frame in view, and this was my analysis at the time. I have like a before of the analysis when I sent it, but this is like actually what it is. I've not touched it. I've just let price move. So on this USDCAD trade, this is the H4 time frame, and based on the fact that I'm a swing trader, most of the time my entry on trades are usually based on the H4 time frame, right? And depending on how tricky it can be, I might set my stop loss based on the H4 or the daily time frame, depending on what it looks like on my charts at the time. Right? So this is the H4 time frame, and I saw something similar to what I have here in your charts, where you identified the downtrend here. So trend lines are a very powerful tool. When I first started trading, I was learning trend lines. My mentor taught me so much about trend lines. It almost felt like I had a personal relationship with trend lines because every chart I looked at, I always put out my trend lines first. My trend lines are like the first type of analysis that I do in every chart, even up until now, right? And then it just helps me to see the overall price direction, right? As they will always tell you, the trend is your friend, right? So whatever it is you're doing, try and make sure that you're going with the trend and not against the trend, right? There are a lot of situations, a lot of times where folks trade against the trend and they're actually lucky to be in good profit, right? People do that, it happens, and people make money from trading against the trend, but it's not usually the best course of action, right? Especially if you're looking to hold trades long term. Although some day traders or scalpers experience trading against the trend a lot of times and they still make money out of it, right? But personally, in my opinion, as a swing trader, it's always best to go with the trend, right? Because you're looking to hold your trade for a long time. You want to keep going in the same direction of the markets, right? If you find yourself trading against the trend most of the time, it's the possibility of you actually losing your money is very high, and we can talk about that like in subsequent conversations, all right? But now looking at it here, I see that you already have the idea of what the trend line looks like from your analysis on the platform, right? So that's good. So right here I have my downtrend, right? I've seen that, so I know the market is going to go down. And you see that I have some zones already spotted here. So when I'm trading with the H4 time frame, I don't always just stick to the H4 time frame, right? I like to go also to the daily time frame to see if they are moving in the same direction, and ultimately to the weekly time frame sometimes, just to know to know how extensive the market can be. I might move all the way to the monthly time frame to see how market is going to go on the long run, right? But the most popular thing for me is the H4 time frame, the daily time frame, and the weekly time frame, right? So here I have this pink zone highlighted as my daily supply. So if I move all the way to my daily time frame, I would see that zone very clearly. So can you see the zone right now? My daily supply has been highlighted here. Can you see it? Nice one. So now this daily supply zone gives me an idea that price should be dropping from this point, right? And you know that when we're trading, before we take our entry, we always look out for confluence, right? Confluence meaning getting confirmation from about 3 or more sources before you actually make a particular move in the trade. So before you choose to buy or before you choose to sell, you need to have like 3 or more things telling you that that sell is safe, right? At the end of the day, it's a thing of probabilities. You can have like 5, 6, 3 things telling you sell, and then maybe just one thing might be pointing towards a buy, right? That's like 5 against 1, right? In a situation like that, it's usually easier for you to just go with the majority, and that's pretty much what trading is about. You want to go in the direction that everything is going, that the market is going, that the big banks are going. You want to go in that direction, right? Because if you move solo, you do not have enough capacity to hold the market when they start going against you, right? So like I said, it's usually safe to trade with the trend. So look here now, we have the daily supply highlighting that market should reverse from this point. So we're expecting price to hit the supply and bounce back, which is what has probably happened here, right? You can see there's a rejection right here. In fact, it all started from here in the first place, where we had price come all the way here, right? We got a bearish pin bar, right? And then afterwards, we still had like a shooting star candlestick, a confirmation candlestick here, all pointing bearish right from this point. So one would have even like pretty much taken an entry from here and still set the stop loss right above the supply zone because it will be safe by then, right? But of course, for extra confirmation and based on how the market was moving, especially in the H4 time frame, which we'll go back to, it still showed that we probably just need to wait for like a little extra something before we get into the trade. If I switch back to my H4 time frame, already now on my daily time frame, I can see that there's a reason to sell because my daily time frame still tells me price is going down, major supply zone around there, so we should be looking to sell. So if you come all the way to the H4 here, you see I have an upward channel. I have an upward channel in this chart. Are you with me? Hello, are you with me?
Yes.
Great. Can you see my screen very well? Is it good? Is it good? Is it good for your mobile device?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here is the H4 time frame. Apart from that downtrend that we saw earlier, that we both have that we both have in common in our charts. I also highlighted an upward trend here, an upward channel here, right? So market has been pretty much going up and going up and going up, but this upward channel is forming, right, in a bearish flag formation, right, based on the fact the market has been selling for a long time, but it's still an upward channel. And looking at this upward channel, we know that because of how we sort of identify a huge point here, because of how we know that the market is in a downtrend, because of how we see the supply zone, we should also expect price to break out of this upward channel all the way back to the downside, right? So that's what has happened here. You'd see that I highlighted 2 points here. At this point, I also saw what looks to me like a bearish Batman, especially if it moves in that direction. Have you ever heard of the Batman pattern? Have you ever heard of the Batman chart pattern?
No.
Okay, maybe I'm going to show you what the Batman pattern is, right? So here we have the Batman pattern that looks to be forming. It hasn't completely formed. It has formed, right? But price has not still gone in the direction of the Batman. So a Batman pattern is when we have what looks like a big M for a bearish Batman, which points to the sell direction, is where we have what looks like a big M with a small W. I'm just going to open a whiteboard here so I can show you what it looks like. All right, can you see it? Can you see my screen? Can you see the white screen?
Yeah.
Great. So we have 2 types of Batman pattern. We have the bearish Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the bearish Batman and the bullish Batman, right? So in that case, for that particular chart, I identified the bearish Batman. And how does it look? It looks like, let me just use, we could have something like this. Do you remember what a Batman looks like? You know the horn of the Batman, how it has like 2 horns at the top of the head, right? We have something like this. We could also have it look like this in some chart situations. We could also have it look like this. So this is what I was saying about the wider M. So this is the double top here, and then this is the double bottom right here. And then we have a line that serves as a support zone in this situation. But of course, a support zone breaking to retest to form a resistance so price can sell. This is what a bearish Batman looks like. Maybe you want to read more about it, right? Or if we probably have time some other time, we could talk extensively about it, right? But I'm sure if you read through, if you do some research, you'll be able to grab it like really quickly, all right? So the Batman pattern was one of the things that I highlighted right here. And in this case, the bearish Batman shows us that markets should be selling. But I've not entered this trade just yet because I still have like one more confirmation to do. And the confirmation is pretty simple. I'm waiting for price since I've already highlighted my Batman, right, with all of my points right here. So this is points, this is the zone that I'm also sort of using as the neckline or that support area for my double bottom, right? So I'm waiting for price to break out of this zone, right? Maybe come back up for a retest and then take a good sell. Are you with me? Are you with me? Great. Don't worry, we're going to take it really slow.
Yeah.
You see, I have another zone pointed out here. Let me go to the H1. Okay, cool. I think that zone is somewhere in the H1 time frame. Okay, here there's another supply zone right here in the H1 time frame that looks like price has sort of respected, right? And price should actually be selling from that supply zone. So everything is pointing bearish. All of the movements from the trend line to this chart pattern here that gives us the Batman to, you know, even this one all the way down to H1 time frame, right? And how price seems to be respecting this H1 supply. I think I'm going to label this and just label this H1 supply. So we just have that on the record of this chart, right? So if we move over now to our H4 time frame, we'll see how everything just seems to be aligning. Can you see how everything is going in the same direction? Daily supply is pointing bearish, H1 supply is pointing bearish, and price seems to be reacting to the H1 supply, right? Now, the only thing that seems to be stopping this market from actually moving all the way to the downside, as we can see in this chart now, is this demand zone here in H4 that is yet to be broken, right? Now, as small as this demand zone might be, even though we have other supply zones up ahead that might reverse price, as small as this zone can be, it can also be very powerful. You know that the market is very unpredictable. Anything can happen, right? Anything can happen, and something can just happen. It could be a news, it could be whatever sort of world event, right, that can push price all the way from this demand into breaking this trend line to the upside. That is a very huge possibility, right? But if this H4 demand does not react in that way, but instead all of these zones, the trend line, the supply zones are breaking price down, and price eventually moves all the way down to break this demand zone, then we could have confidence in actually taking a sell. Are you with me? I want to know if you're following, because I know that I'm not sure this is like so much, this is strange information to you because you already understand, how this market works, and our charts are sort of similar, right? So are you with me? Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel free to ask me questions at any time. Feel free to speak up, right? Feel free to interrupt. That's what I'm trying to say. Feel free to ask me questions at any time. If you're getting confused, just let me know, and I'll be happy to go over it again with you. All right? So do you have any questions before we proceed?
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
No.
Okay, so it looks good, right? It's pretty much clear to you, right?
No. Yeah.
All right, great. Nice one. So here now, like I mentioned, we're just waiting for price to break out of this zone now, so it confirms everything bearish for us. If it breaks out of this trend line to the upside, then everything that we've done here, is gone, because the markets have switched directions, right? Things have changed, so we now have to now start looking at understanding that change and taking advantage of that change and getting into a different kind of trade, right? But for now, we're still in a good place because price has not yet broken this trend line, so price should still be going down, right? So we're looking for that perfect opportunity to get in. Now, one very interesting thing about swing trading that I love so much is I've been analyzing this market for quite some time. I sent out this challenge on Monday, right, which is about a week now, and I've just been looking at it, right? I've not taken a trade. I've not done anything because I've just been looking at it. Most of the work when it comes to trading is just observing, just waiting, right? Waiting for the right time, waiting for the right opportunity. And especially as swing traders, we don't just get into any trade just because it's convenient or because we don't want to miss out. There are days that I don't trade. There are days that I just analyze the market and I leave it, and I need that one move so I can take a trade. The mistake a lot of people make is they don't get an opportunity today and then they start looking for opportunities when there is none, right? But if you just chill and just try to take advantage of what the market is giving you, not what you want to see, you'll be in a good place, right? So right now, I'm just chilling. Anything can happen when the market opens on Monday, right? The market can open and, everything will just align. There could be a news event that will push price breaking my demand zone and everything just aligns. And there's this thing about getting that extra confidence before you enter the trade. Sorry, that's extra confirmation before you enter the trade. It gives you more confidence, right? So even though you've entered the trade after getting all your confirmation and it seems the market is going south, you're not bothered because there's nothing visible that is supposed to stop the market from going in that direction. But then again, anything can happen. So if that thing does happen and changes the market from your direction, you're at a better place knowing that you did your best, Sha. You did all you could do. You waited. You made sure you made all the right confirmation. It doesn't seem to you like you made a mistake, right? It just seems to you like, okay, the market has happened, right? We go again. We win some. We lose some. So we're looking out for another opportunity, right? Anyways. So this is the USDCAD on the H4 time frame, and this is what I had going on before I sent out the challenge, right? And I was hoping to, of course, I know that folks have like different strategies and everything, but I was hoping to see something very similar to what I had going on because it seemed pretty straightforward to me, and I was looking to select the person that had like closest to what I had. not really the closest to what I had per se, because I know that there are some folks on the Discord that have like different strategies, right? And I saw some pretty interesting setups and things. It was almost very hard to choose, right? But I think the reason why I chose you in particular was because of how simple and how straightforward your chart was, and I was very impressed, right? So right now on the USDCAD charts, what we're going to be doing is waiting, right? So we'll wait for the right opportunity to take a trade. And, I always try as much as possible to sort of send setups to the Telegram channel as well, setups that I'm personally working on, right? And since you are here with me in this session, do you have the time to see some of my setups? Or should we, I don't know, what do you think? I'm allowing you the opportunity to see some extra setups with me here because we are currently here. What do you think about that? Okay, cool. Let's check this one. Very easy. Okay. All right, cool. Let's check these charts together. The CADJPY charts. Can you see my screen? I think I sent this chart set up on the trading hub in Telegram. I think I did, but I'm not sure I said so much about it. So let's just quickly talk about it here, and that will be it for today. Right. So in this charts here, I started all the way from the weekly time frame, right? On this particular chart, I see a lot of zones and a lot of things that I can mark out, but I just don't feel like it is relevant to where the market currently is right now, and I don't want to fill my chart with too many information that I don't need, right? So I only highlighted the major things, right, and then moved over to smaller time frames to be sure that we're on the same page and, look for how to sort of take advantage of those moves and get into the market. So now, on the weekly time frame, I can identify a long uptrend. Price has been buying all the way from March 2020, right? So CADJPY has been overall bullish since 3-4 years ago, right? And it's amazing. Now, price has gotten to a point where in the weekly time frame, we've been able to sort of highlight a major resistance point. In 2022, price came all the way to this point and it sold and came back all the way to this area here, right? All the way to 2023, right? And then since then, price has been buying again. Now we're in 2024 and price is at that zone where it reversed from in 2022, right? So you can see I have a red line, a red horizontal line highlighted here, and I labeled it as my weekly resistance. Now, in these charts, I can see that price is overall bullish, but there's just one major thing that might make price maybe drop for a bit. Now, this drop could be anything, right? The drop could be price probably just coming here and going up again, whatever. The drop could be price, coming here, even attempting to break the trend line, and then probably giving us something different entirely, right? That is also possible. The drop could be anything, right? But this weekly resistance is not something that we need to take lightly. But if we move over to the daily time frame, there's also something very interesting in the daily time frame that I saw, right? But I think in the hub, I only put like one time frame, I guess. I think I just put one time frame analysis, right? So if you look here now, we can see that around this weekly resistance, things are happening, right? First off, you can see this small downtrend here being broken, right? Solid breakout, actually. You can see the candlesticks that are closing outside of it. Solid breakout. Now, on this zone is also a daily demand. So I'm going to highlight this area as my daily demand zone. In fact, I have two daily demand zones, but right now price is reacting to this one. But this is also another daily demand, but I don't think it's necessary at the moment. Maybe until this one gets broken. But you can see price at the daily demand, respecting the daily demand, and it's looking like it's going to break out again. This is very interesting. This is very interesting to watch, right? It seems like market seems to be going bullish. I also have like a small uptrend right here, just telling us that the direction of the market overall. Now, if we switch over to the H4 time frame, I took this analysis from the H1 or from the weekly all the way back to the H1 time frame. So if you look at the H4 here, I have like a fainted trend line drawn out here. I just didn't want the lines to be too much, so I just made this one faint, right? And you can see what's going on here. You can see that we have another situation where price seems to be breaking out of a particular trend here. This is a trend as well, but it's quite small, right? So you can see price trying to break out of this trend right here. Now that has happened. The first breakout that happened was there was a strong rejection, right? And then the other time it looks like price is going back up, and it will interest you to note that price is going back up from here because of a reaction to the H1 demand. So there's a demand zone here again in the H1 time frame, right? So I could highlight this one. I just don't want to put so many things, but let me just H1 demand, right? And you can see price coming into the demand zone, respecting it. Even right here, you can see the morning star candlestick that we have here, right? And then price seems to be respecting it. But this is all the way back to H1. Anything can happen, to be honest. But if we look at it extensively into the weekly, we would see that where price currently is at the weekly time frame is a very delicate point. And you can see the weekly time frame resistance zone here with this my red line, right? So for me, I can see that price is trying to break out of the resistance, right? Based on the moves that it is giving me on smaller time frames like H1, H4, and things like that. Price seems to be trying to break out of that resistance, but I'm not going to take it very seriously just yet until it actually happens, right? So this is me just waiting to see how market is going to move at the end of the day, right? Overall, I'm looking at this thing from my weekly time frame. And I just want to wait to see if there will be some major breakouts on this zone. If I can get some major breakouts on that zone, I'll be in a better position, better headspace to make a decision when it comes to going bullish in this market. But for now, I'm just waiting to see how the market moves and to see the best opportunity for me. So whenever I send a setup on the channel, it's not to say buy now or sell now. It's to get you to try and look at the charts, right? From my perspective, you can also look at it from your perspective. Try and see if you can marry both, right? See if it's something that you are able to relate with. Sometimes, so I see the setups as an opportunity for you to see what you're not seeing, right? There could be some things that I would see very clearly in the chart that you don't see. So when I send a setup, it helps you to have a very bright and clearer picture of what the chart looks like, and it might also guide you when it comes to taking your entries and your trades. So that's pretty much what it looks like on my chart, my CADJPY charts. And I have some other setups, but of course, we'll probably have those conversations much later, some other time, if we get the opportunity again. But know that I would always send out these setups on the Telegram channel, and something for you to look out for. All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Say again.
No, I don't know because I understand so.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now for you
I
to be.
said I didn't think so because I understand so.
Yes. That's really good. That's really good. And you mentioned that you've been trying to teach yourself on YouTube and learn on your own. So it makes a lot of sense to see how well you're able to grasp all of these things without even having someone to personally guide you. I commend you for that, and please just keep up the good work and keep trying to. I want to ask you a question. Are you currently trading with your funds, your real funds?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
No, for now I tried it. Yes.
Okay, go on.
I think I tried it, but I have no account. I said that I tried it, but I have no my account. I bought two got my house. I bought.
Okay.
So I told myself that.
Okay.
I said not. I can afford myself.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. All right. I understand. I feel you. Well, that happens, right? It just means that you need to keep trying to practice more on a demo account before you actually fund, right? You are doing very well, right? As far as the analysis is concerned, you're doing very well. I mean, I've seen you analyze one chart, so it looks very good. And I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, right? And don't fund your account just yet. I know it might look very tempting, right? Especially given that, oh, maybe if I send something, you see that, this is the same thing I did, or, you might feel like you already know a lot, right? And which can be valid, right? But I feel like you still need to practice more, right? You need to practice more, and you're pretty much on the right path, to be honest. Don't feel the pressure to pay for anything extra. Just keep doing what you're doing, especially since you know it's working for you, right? And then if you're ready, right? There's a point where you get to have that all solid confirmation that you're ready. But you need to be as serious on your demo account as you will be on your live account, right? So don't think because it's a demo account, I want to now start taking on realistic trades because I want to start seeing all that big figures, right? In fact, I always advise people, some of my students, sometimes when we do some challenges, like as in the mentorship, I always tell them to create demo accounts. I ask each and every one of them how much they think they would like to start funding with if they were ready to fund right now. And then some will tell me $500, some will tell me $1,000, some will tell me $100. So we create demo accounts to suit that account balance, right? So to direct them to the broker, and I would have them create demo accounts. And in this account, you're starting with $100. In this account, you're starting with $500. In this account, you're starting with $1,000. So I want you to trade it the way you would trade the real money, right? So it puts them in that space where they're able to sort of manage their risk well. They are not. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So I said it puts them in a space where they are able to manage their risks well, right? They're able to take trades realistically, right? They're able to realistically take these trades, and it just pretty much helps them to know the best decisions to make based on having to put real money when the time comes, right? So I'll encourage you to do that, right? Keep practicing more on your practice accounts. Like I said, you're doing great. So just keep doing what you're doing and see how your strategy works for you for the next, say, 3 months, right? See how much money you'll be able to make from pretty now till like the next 3 months. See if it's with your consistent strategy and everything, if it's going to help you stay profitable, right? And then with that, you'll be able to sort of measure your growth and help yourself decide if it's the right time to put in your money to actually trade the market, right? Okay. So I want to ask you another question.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this session right now? I said, how do you feel about this session right now?
I think more
Okay.
I think thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome. You deserve it.
So glad about it.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you feel like this. Do you have any questions for me personally aside the charts? Like aside what we've discussed on the charts, do you have any questions, any burning questions you'd like to ask?
Okay, definitely, really, how many like, class
Sorry, I didn't hear that clearly. Could you come again, please?
I like to know that. I think we need to have many mentorship class. I like to know more.
Okay. Yeah, I have a program. I have 2 mentorship programs that I run at the moment, right? And right now, I have a program that is starting in a couple of days in February, and it's the group mentorship program, right? It's me getting to mentor folks from scratch, right? I have a curriculum. I get to mentor folks from scratch starting in February, right? And are you a student?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So you're done with schooling then. I actually have a program in my group mentorship program. In fact, my group mentorship and my one-on-one programs, I offer like 50% discounts to students. Nigerian students, right? Because I know it can be quite challenging. So I offer 50% discount. But at the moment, my mentorship program, I'm going to send you a link, right? So you can read more about my mentorship program, right? Um, but now that we're having this conversation, my mentorship program is at the moment $500 for the
Okay.
group. My group mentorship program is $500, but for students, I'm offering it for $250, which is like 50% off, right? And the interesting thing is that all of my classes are recorded. Like I'm recording this session right now, and then I have a platform where after every class I upload the recording so students in the class can have access to them and read and watch them anytime, right? And then we have classes regularly weekly, right? The last one that I just finished now, we used to have classes twice weekly. We do assignments, we do classworks, we do a lot of work, right? And so there's like a whole curriculum and everything. So if you feel like you're ever ready to go through the mentorship program, we could have a conversation, right? And you could let me know when you're ready so we could prep you up. And then the interesting thing about my group mentorship is that although it is starting in February, folks who are not ready now can join in much later if they feel they can catch up, right? Because the classes would have started, but even if you join much later, you'd have recordings you have access to the recordings from the beginning of the class, right? So you can choose to go watch the recordings to catch up with the class if that is something you feel you can do, right? I have some folks from my previous classes that joined like towards the end, and they were still able to catch up, and they're doing good. So it depends on you personally what you feel like you can do based on your timing, based on your financial capabilities and everything. So no pressure, just buzz me whenever. But for now, I'll keep giving free resources, right? I'll keep trying my best to make sure that everyone who has access to my platform will have pretty much something interesting to help them get better in trading, right? And then with the help of the challenge, we can have opportunities of having these kind of sessions, right? So we can also get to learn more, right? So don't worry, there'll be a lot of things coming through. Just let me know whenever you're ready so we could set something up. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Zubby. It was a nice chat. It was nice having you here, and I'm looking forward to having you again subsequently. So please continue to partake in the challenge. All right. It doesn't matter if you've been here before, although I'm going to try and give other people the opportunity to be here, but it doesn't mean you should stop participating. Continue to participate. I'm looking at all of the chats. I can see, how much people are really invested and everything, and it just sort of helps me to know the needs of folks out there so I could do my best to also help, right? So please just keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, nice one. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll catch you again some other time. All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye.